Hello, everybody. Welcome to another theory test. Got Mark helping out.
Evening.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go through the chat.
Yeah.
So first I've got D. Harris says, and a good evening, Dano and Mark.
How you doing?
Gillian's Dotsu says, good evening, Dano and Mark.
Hey, man.
Gillian's Dot says, good evening, D. D says, good evening, Gillian. And D says, and yes, gents, as usual, the purge. Evening both. So evening, D.
Well, we're D was in at 11:52 this morning.
Yeah. Nice and early. Oh, early bird, you know, as they say.
Right, well.
Oh, D says yesterday morning.
Basically, she was up head up.
Right.
Test.
You're waiting in a traffic queue at night. How can you avoid dazzling drivers behind you? Use the parking brake and release the foot brake. Balance the clutch with the accelerator. Use the parking brake and foot brake together. Keep your foot on the foot brake.
Right. So, human, if you hit the foot brake, your brake light is going to go on, which that's going to cause him to dazzle. So, don't think it's going to be the foot brakes.
Use the parking brake and release the foot brake. Balance the clutch with the accelerator.
I think it'd be use the parking brake.
You're turning right onto a dual carriageway. What should you do before emerging? Stop, apply the parking brake, and then select a low gear. Position your vehicle well to the left of the side road. Make sure that you leave enough room for a vehicle behind. Check that the central reservation is wide enough for your vehicle. You're turning right onto a dual carriageway. What should you do before emerging?
So you turn in to go towards the red car. I'm just breaking me right and left out. We're coming out. Coming up here.
Stop, apply the parking brake, and then select a low gear. Position your vehicle well to the left of the side road. Make sure that you leave enough room for a vehicle behind. Check that the central reservation is wide enough for your vehicle.
Copy that one.
Make sure that you leave enough room for a vehicle behind. Who's responsible for paying the vehicle tax? The registered keeper of the vehicle, the driver of the vehicle, the car dealer, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, DVLA. Who's responsible for paying the vehicle tax?
The registered keeper.
What's the legal minimum insurance cover you must have to drive on public roads? Third-party fire and theft, personal injury cover, comprehensive, third-party only.
Party.
Overall stopping distance is made up of thinking distance and braking distance. You're on a good dry road surface with good brakes and tyres. What's the typical braking distance from 50 miles per hour? 24 meters, 55 meters, 180 feet, 14 meters, 46 feet, 38 meters, 125 feet.
Right, so it's dry. It's like anyone's on average 50 miles an hour. So you put your foot on brake and it will gradually stop. So it's like put 14 meters. Now you're going fast. So I think it probably fast. Only not quick. 255. 38.
Where would you see a contraflow bus lane? On a dual carriageway, on a roundabout, on an urban motorway, in a one-way street.
No, I've had this one before. Do want to be on a one-way street?
On an urban motorway, on a dual carriageway, at an incident, a casualty isn't breathing. What should you do while helping them to start breathing again? Shake them firmly. Roll them onto their side. Open their air.
Yeah.
Put their arms across their chest.
Open airways.
What does this sign mean? Cattle grid ahead. Level crossing without gate or barrier. Gated road ahead. Level crossing with gate or barrier.
Right. The one is not a crossing. Cattle. Cattle gate. You. What the heck? Then this will be more on the countryside. So
When are you allowed to park in a parking bay for disabled drivers? When you have an adapted vehicle? When you have an advanced driver certificate? When you have a wheelchair? When you have a blue badge?
the badge.
What should you do when leaving your vehicle parked and unattended? Park near a busy junction. Leave the left indicator on. Park in a housing estate. Lock it and remove the key.
Lock it, remove the key.
Which sign means that the national speed limit applies?
B.
What will be a serious distraction while you're driving? Looking in your door mirror. Switching on your demister. Looking at road maps. Using your windscreen washers.
Look at road maps.
Where would you see this road marking? Near a level crossing. At traffic lights. At a box junction. On road humps.
Road humps.
When may you use hazard warning lights? When your direction indicators aren't working. When driving on a motorway to warn traffic behind of a hazard ahead. When warning oncoming traffic that you intend to stop. When you're double parked on a two-way road. As you approach a pelican crossing, the lights change to green. What should you do if older people are still crossing? Rev your engine to make them hurry. Flash your lights in case they haven't noticed you. Wave them to cross as quickly as they can. Wait patiently while they cross.
Yep.
Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? There's a zebra crossing ahead. There are driveways on the left. People may cross the road in front of it. The road surface will be slippery.
You may come out.
You're following a large vehicle. Why should you stay a safe distance behind it? You'll help the large vehicle to stop more easily. You'll keep out of the wind better. You'll give the driver a chance to see you in their mirrors. You'll be able to corner more quickly. You'll give the driver a chance to see you in their mirrors.
Yeah. It makes more sense.
How should you dispose of a used vehicle battery? Bury it in your garden. Leave it on wasteland. Take it to a local authority disposal site. Put it in the dustbin.
Take it to a disposable place.
Why is travelling in neutral for long distances, known as coasting, bad driving technique? The engine will run faster. There won't be any engine braking. It will make the engine stall. It will cause the car to skid.
Right.
The engine will run faster. There won't be any engine braking. It will make the engine stall.
Possibly.
It will cause the car to skid.
You won't have any control. So Could go to scared.
You're driving on the motorway. Which lane should you get into well before you reach your exit? The left-hand lane, the hard shoulder, the middle lane, the right-hand lane.
Right. So another lane. All right. Well, it's not going to be the middle or the right hand lane. Because if you're leaving, it's on your left. So you drop into the left hand, into the hard shoulder. But if so, I think it's the hard shoulder.
How can you reduce the environmental harm caused by your motor vehicle? Only use it for short journeys. Keep engine revs low. Drive faster than normal. Don't service it.
Right, but definitely not drive faster than normal or go to services. Keep engine revs
Keep
low
engine revs low.
or use it for short journeys.
How can you reduce the environmental harm caused by your motor vehicle?
Over a short journey. I'm not gonna put much boost.
Keep engine revs low. What should you do if your vehicle has a puncture on a motorway? Drive slowly to the next service area to get assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area. Change the wheel as quickly as possible. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Stop in your lane. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Following a collision, a person has been injured. What would be a warning sign for shock? Rapid shallow breathing. Slow pulse. Warm dry skin. Flushed complexion. Rapid shallow breathing.
Yeah.
Which type of sign tells you what you must not do?
Right. I think it tells not. Say that I wouldn't do. No entry. D.
Which sign shows that you're entering a one-way system?
B. Ignore U-turn. Oncoming traffic. Give way. I think both of them to oncoming traffic have right to way and you have right to way. So then B.
You're following two cyclists as they approach a roundabout in the left-hand lane. Where would you expect the cyclists to go? Any direction. Right. Left. Straight ahead.
Any direction.
You're approaching a roundabout. What should you do if a cyclist ahead is signalling to turn right? Give the cyclist plenty of room. Signal the cyclist to move across. Give a warning with your horn. Overtake on the right.
Give it plenty of room.
Which plate may appear with this road sign?
Right, the hump. Not a low bridge. The hump. The hump bridge. Hump. Or pump. Mine. Then D.
When will your vehicle use more fuel? When its tyres are underinflated. When its tyres are overinflated. When its tyres are new. When its tyres are of different makes.
With definitely joke tires. I think it's underinflated. Let's put more effort into moving forward.
How should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop in an emergency? Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding. Brake normally, but grip the steering wheel tightly. Apply the parking brake to reduce the stopping distance. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped.
Right.
Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding. Brake normally, but grip the steering wheel tightly. Apply the parking brake to reduce the stopping distance. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding. You're in a built-up area at night and the road is well lit. Why should you use dipped headlights? So that you can be easily seen by others. So that you can go at a much faster speed.
No.
So that you can switch to main beam quickly. So that you can see further along the road.
So you can be seen by others.
Some two-way roads are divided into 3 lanes. Why are they particularly dangerous? Traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake. Traffic can travel faster in poor weather conditions. Traffic can overtake on the left. Traffic uses the middle lane for emergencies only. Traffic in both directions can use the middle lane to overtake.
think it's that one.
What does this sign mean? Vehicles may not park on the verge or footway. Vehicles may park fully on the verge or footway. Vehicles may park on the left-hand side of the road only. Vehicles may park on the right-hand side of the road only.
I think it's vehicles can park on the foot.
What should you do when going through a contraflow system on a motorway? Keep a good distance from the vehicle ahead. Switch lanes to keep the traffic flowing. Use dipped headlights. Stay close to the vehicle ahead to reduce queues.
Like, don't know if not one or dipped headlights.
Keep a good distance from the vehicle ahead.
Yeah.
Switch lanes to keep the traffic flowing.
Yeah, because internet lane.
You're approaching a busy junction. What should you do when at the last moment you realize you're in the wrong lane? Continue in that lane. Use arm signals to help you change lane. Force your way into the lane you need. Stop until the area has cleared.
Continue in that lane.
What does this sign mean? Minimum speed 30 mph. End of minimum speed. End of maximum speed. Maximum speed 30 mph.
Right, well, it's end of the speed. So end of maximum speed.
What restrictions apply if you're towing a trailer on a 3-lane motorway? You mustn't overtake. You must have a stabilizer fitted. You mustn't exceed 50 miles per hour. You mustn't use the right-hand lane.
Was actually 50.
What is the main hazard the driver of the red car, arrowed, should be aware of? Oncoming vehicles will assume the driver is turning right. The bus may move out into the road. The black car may stop suddenly. Glare from the sun may affect the driver's vision.
Put the bus pulling out.
What should you do if your anti-lock brakes ABS warning light stays on? Check that the parking brake is released. Check the brake fluid level. Have the brakes checked immediately. Check the foot brake free play. Check that the parking brake is released.
Yeah.
Why should you never wave people across at pedestrian crossings? Another vehicle may be coming. It's safer for you to carry on. They may not be ready to cross. They may not be looking.
Well, yeah, could be any of those vehicles that if no vehicles coming.
Why is it more difficult to overtake a large vehicle than a car? A large vehicle will have air brakes. It will take longer to overtake a large vehicle. A large vehicle will be fitted with a speed limiter. It will take longer for a large vehicle to accelerate. It will take longer to overtake a large vehicle.
Yeah.
Where should you stop to rest if you feel tired while you're traveling along a motorway? On the central reservation, on the hard shoulder, on a slip road, at the nearest service area.
Which of these signs warn you of a zebra crossing?
B.
You're at the front of a queue of traffic waiting to turn right into a side road. Why is it important to check your right mirror just before turning? To check for overtaking vehicles. To check for emerging traffic. To look for pedestrians about. To make sure the side road is clear.
Looking for pedestrians.
You've been driving in fog. What must you do when the visibility improves? Switch off your fog lights. Keep your front fog lights switched on. Keep your rear fog lights switched on. Leave your fog lights switched on in case the fog returns.
Turn them off.
You are driving along a country road in open countryside. Ahead of you is a horse and rider, and ahead of them is a roundabout. You are aware that horses are easily frightened by traffic. You are keen to avoid doing anything that will cause the horse to bolt, potentially putting the rider, horse, and other road users at risk of injury. A little closer to the roundabout, the rider holds out her right arm, but stays to the left. You are not sure if she is indicating that she intends to go around the roundabout to the right, or if she is asking you to stay back. You consider what you can do to reduce the inherent risks. After negotiating the roundabout behind the riders, you have a good opportunity to overtake, but you want to do so without the risk of scaring the horses. Having overtaken the horse riders, a mile further down the road, you see a tractor ahead travelling at about 15 miles an hour. You slow down and wait for an opportunity to overtake.
What should you do when you see these horse riders in front? Pull out to the middle of the road. Slow down and be ready to stop. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Give a right turn signal.
Right.
What should you do when you see these horse riders in front?
He didn't say anything about overtaken, so you need to give a right arm signal.
Switch on your hazard warning lights.
There's no hazard.
Pull out to the middle of the road.
You could.
Slow down and be ready to stop.
Say slow down. What you're being measured.
A horse rider is in the left-hand lane approaching a roundabout. Where should you expect the rider to go?
In any direction.
You see a horse rider as you approach a roundabout. What should you do if they're signalling right but keeping well to the left? Cut in front of them. Keep close to them. Stay well. Proceed as normal.
You are back.
How should you overtake horse riders? Drive up close and overtake as soon as possible. Use your horn just once to warn them. Speed isn't important, but allow plenty of room. Drive slowly and leave plenty of room.
Well, they do just the same. Both you drive slowly, leave plenty of room.
What should you do if you want to overtake a tractor but aren't sure that it's safe? Sound your horn to make the tractor driver pull over. Follow another vehicle as it overtakes the tractor. Stay behind it if you're in any doubt. Speed past, flashing your lights at oncoming traffic.
Stay behind if you're any in doubt.
Okay, Dano. Some of these you're going to pull your hair out at because you
Yeah.
almost got them. Okay, so go to 6.
Oh,
You highlighted the correct answer, and you talked yourself out of it. Go with your gut. An urban motorway is a motorway that is basically no lights, no nothing.
yeah.
It's just a motorway. So on a one-way street, that's when you'd find a contraflow bus lane. But you almost got it. And I was like, don't. So, okay, 8. Okay, what does this sign mean? Level crossing with a barrier. I don't think there is any gated road areas ahead that you would need to be warned about. There might be gated car parks.
But I was thinking of the country, like the countryside where you have like gates and stuff going through.
Well, no, they tend to transport him on the road and between fields. I live in the countryside, so you don't get gated road ahead.
Because that's why I was thinking of you with like when I used to go to Lightsbed, we used to go over the country and you used to have to get out, open the gate to go through and then shut the gate.
That's on like farm tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not on the road, so that's on private land. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Crossings, I'm thinking of the big ones that go on the top.
Well, think about crossings. Think about the history of crossings. Before there were barriers, there were gates.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a picture of a gate.
Right.
Okay, so 19. Okay, you're traveling in neutral for long distances known as coasting. Why is it a bad driving technique? We have said this before, you won't have your engine braking.
Yeah.
Which is selecting a lower gear, and it allows the engine to brake for you, especially when you're driving through ice or snow. So it won't make the engine run faster because it's in neutral. So the engine's not connected to anything, but it means there'll be no engine braking.
Right.
Okay, 20. Okay, you're driving on a motorway. Which lane should you get into well before your exit? Well, your exit's on the left.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. The hard shoulder is for emergencies.
Yeah, I realise the hour.
Yeah, unless you're on a smart motorway and they tell you that you can use the hard shoulder as a running lane. But no, you'd be in the left-hand lane. So the hard shoulder is for emergencies only. Okay, 30. Okay, how should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop an emergency? Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding is what we used to do before anti-lock brakes were invented.
Right.
That is what you're simulating. But it's simple. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, so 34. Okay, what should you do when you go through a contraflow system on a motorway? Well, obviously, if you're going into the other lanes, which is the contraflow, you want to keep a good distance from the vehicle ahead to make sure that in case something happens, you've got plenty of time to stop.
Yeah.
36. Some of these you know, and I think you've talked yourself out of it. Okay, what does this sign mean? You kind of run the right thing, but that's a minimum speed sign. A maximum speed sign would have a red border and 30 in it.
Yeah.
So it's end of minimum speed.
I always get mixed up there too.
Yeah, I know. 37. What restrictions apply if you're towing a trailer on a 3-lane motorway? Yeah, you must not use the right-hand lane. Okay, you either use the left or the middle lane. Okay, and the speed for that is actually 60 miles per hour, not 50. What should you do if your anti-lock brakes warning light stays on? Get the brakes checked immediately. It's a safety issue. So get them done immediately.
Yeah.
And then the last one. You're at the front of queue of traffic, wanting to turn right into a side road. Why is it important to check your right-hand mirror just before turning to check for overtaking vehicles? Cyclists might overtake, motorcyclists might overtake.
Yeah.
You need to check to make sure it's clear for you to turn before you make the turn.
Yep.
Okay, that's it. D says hovering over the right answer, but picked a different one.
Yeah.
Gillian says not too bad. And D says not a bad effort, young lad. Just go with your gut, Dano.
Yeah.
That's where you were. That's what you were second guessing yourself. You know the answer, but you're second guessing yourself now.
Yeah.
So in a few of them tonight, you've gone for the right answer, but then you've talked yourself out of the right answer. So you know it, it's there. Just execute it.
Yeah.
Okay. So well done tonight. Even though it's not as good as last time, it's still good.
Yeah.
It's still good. Cool. Right, I think that's it.
Yeah.
When am I back on? Oh, MCC UK tomorrow night.
Yeah. I
Are you
won't be
there?
there. No.
You working?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Got
Say no
to
more.
leave.
Okay. Well, yeah, I will see everybody tomorrow night on MCC UK, and I'll catch you all later.
Yep.
Um,
You have to end the show tonight because I didn't say anything just before.
Okay. And D says next time, if in doubt, flag it, then go back to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a good night from me, and I'll catch everybody next time.
Yep. Night for me. So you want to get that last one? Or
Yeah. D says night, gents, and see you both next time. Night, D.
night? Night everyone.
Night.